Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on division in algebra. This video will show how to divide algebraic terms together. The following rules apply. Number 1. Divide the leading terms when they occur. Number 2. Subtract the powers for any letters that are the same. They're very basic rules. Let's see how we apply them. For the examples, we have number 1, m to the power of 7 divided by m squared. There are no leading terms. Well, there are. They're 1 and 1, so 1 divided by 1 is 1s. And the letters are the same, and 7 take away 2 is 5. Because when you have division, okay, you subtract the powers for any letters that are the same. You remember in the previous video, when there's multiplication, we add the powers. When we have division, we subtract the powers. And that's why that's the answer. For number 2, the leading terms are 10 and 2, so the division here gives us 5. And 8 minus 5 gives us 3. Over here, we've got an interesting one because we've got a few letters here. So we have k to the 9th and k squared, so 9 minus 2 is 7, so that's k to the power of 7. And for the w's, we have 7 minus 3 is 4, so that's the answer. For number 4, the leading terms are 12 and 4, so when we divide those, we get 3. And then when we work those out, remember we look at the h and the h, and we just subtract the indices, so that gives us h to the 8th. We look at the w and the w, and when we subtract that w, we get w squared. For the next one, we have a little bit more involved because we have 3 letters here, 1, 2, 3, and then another 3 there. The leading terms are 36 and 4, so when we do that division, that gives us 9. And then you take each letter in turn and you subtract the indices. Take the W, subtract the indices, take the M, and subtract the indices. And that will give you that answer. For this one, if you remember, a negative number divided by a positive number gives you a negative number. That's just the basic rule of mathematics. And we've done that many times before. So that's why you have negative 5. And with the letter K, when you subtract the indices, you get k to the 7th. Here, a negative number divided by a negative number gives you positive. That's why that's plus 4. And with the subtraction of the indices, we get d to the power of 5. And a positive divided by a negative gives you a negative. So when we do the division, we have negative 10. And when we divide over here, d to the 4th divided by d to the 10th, after we subtract the indices, sorry, that's d to the 14th, d to the power of 14, divided by d to the power of 10. 14 take away 10 gives you 4. And that's why that's the answer. Over here, you can have this term here, which is a leading term and a letter, and you can just divide that by a number. That's fine. 40 divided by 8 gives you 5, and then you write down the letter. And for the last one, for the leading terms, 40 divided by 2 is 20, and then y divided by y is 1. Okay, so that's all that is. Y divided by y gives you 1. And if you subtract the indices, for example, that's y to the power of 1 here. This is really interesting, and that's y to the 1. If you go 1 minus 1, that gives you 0, so that actually gives you y to the power of 0. But we know that any letter to the power of 0 is 1, and that's why the answer is 20. So this video has shown us how to divide algebraic terms together, and all we do is follow those 2 rules there, take our time, and we shouldn't make any mistakes.